What's up, guys? Guy here, back home on Sunday night after Niners Jags. Just got back from Levi's a little bit ago. Got a little food, got a little fuel because got quite a stretch going right now. Game yesterday, college game yesterday, NFL game today, NFL game Thursday, college game Saturday. So that's 4 in 8. And I was hoping the Niners would, give me some juice here on Sunday night, but every time they had a little juice, not use check, just juice, the Jaguars stole it away. Producer Connor's going to jump in here as well because he's writing his good, the bad, the ugly for his Substack, and he told me already it's not going to be a lot of good. But 4 turnovers is crazy. This is a team that was 3-0, chance to be 4-0. The difference between being 4-0 and 3-1, your playoff odds go from 85%, or your playoff percentage goes from 85% chance historically since 1990. 4-0 teams go to the playoffs 85% of the time. 3-1 teams go to the playoffs 65% of the time. And the reason I wanted to bring Connor in here is because I'm trying to gauge, because I'm calling the game just like in it, and does it feel worse than the Jags have a loss? Did this loss feel worse than the Niners and the Jags lost? The Rams have a loss. Did this loss feel worse to the Niners than the Rams? I mean, that was a road game in Philly over there. That one actually felt bad in a different way probably. But like, to me, the entire game felt so big. Every moment, every turnover felt so important because for the next 5 are on the road. They play Thursday night against the Rams, and they're at home once between October 2nd and November 2nd. And, I guess there's ways to lose. This is a bad way to lose, although I can't believe they only lost by 5. But my overarching thought coming out of the game was, if you're going to be a team that has to be scrappy and gritty, which we established after week 1 they were going to have to be, and so far through 4 weeks it's held, then you have to be buttoned up or buttoned down, whichever it is. I always say button up. You got to be buttoned up. If you're not going to have, 7 of the 9 best players on the field because Bosa's out and Ayuk's out and Kittle's out, and then you got to at least not make mistakes. And Trevor Lawrence, that's the big skill guy, he came in and made, no real mistakes. 21 of 31, 174, handed the ball off. Defense created short fields, got a 54-yard return out to midfield, got a touchdown return on kick. And, he just looked simple in a good way for a guy who had thrown an interception in 6 straight games. The Niners defense hasn't had a pick in 11 straight games. Going back to last year, it matches an NFL record. No QB hits, no QB sacks. But even that was far from the worst thing. I think the Niners on defense in the second half gave up 92 yards. So without Bosa, did they miss Bosa? Hell yeah, they did. 6.5 yards per carry for ETN. I mean, even if you take away the 48-yard gash, 124 minus 48 is 76 divided by 18. It's 4.2 yards per carry. Like, they ran the ball well even without that play. And I think you miss Bosa there. But that's, for whatever issues the defense had, not hitting the quarterback, not sacking the quarterback, they ran the ball a lot. They ran a lot of screens, all that stuff. That's not even close to the reason they lost the game. Brock Purdy had 2 interceptions and a fumble. And if he'd had 2 interceptions and no fumbles, they still might have won the game. So, there's a lot of like, well, the Jags are pretty good. I'm not convinced, but they were definitely like, I don't say that. Everyone's, we already had the misunderstanding with Saleh and Liam Cohen. That sounded like a shot at the Jags. I think people have said like the Jags are really good as like maybe this loss will wear well. Maybe it will, although I don't think any loss with 4 turnovers wears well. Clearly, it's not just the Niners. I mean, they're turning everybody over. So they play their asses off. The radio booth was next to today the Jags, like the GM, Gladstone, the owner's son, Shad Khan's son, was there. And Tony Baselli's in there. He looks incredible, by the way. He's in great shape. He looks like he played tight end, not tackle. And, he's brought a certain level of physicality to them. They're like a bunch of Fred Warners out there running around punching at the ball. And it works. And they run the rock, and it works. And, they run good. Like their offense doesn't have to do anything crazy, but it's an offense that works. And their DC is clearly fired up. He was with the Packers last year. Saleh was with them in Green Bay last year. But, they just they have 12 penalties. You told me coming into the game the Jags are going to have 12 penalties. I'd say, cool. Well, the Niners are going to win by 2 scores. They had 12 penalties and won on the road. I would love to see a 12 penalty win on the road win percentage. I mean, that's got to be under 25%. So, I think we get caught up in all the spectacular stuff, rightfully. All the spectacular stuff the Niners are missing without Bosa, what they're missing without Kittle. How about just the fundamental? If you're not going to be great, be fundamental. That's their recipe. And they were not fundamental. And Purdy was not fundamental. He got hit on the arm, live. The second interception looked awful. He got hit on the arm, and you say, okay, that's why it wobbled. Even then, though, it's going to be a really hard throw to layer. But that's what he does. He layers hard throws. The first interception, ball gets deflected, but it was a weird. That was a risky throw. And I think the frustrating part about the Niners turnovers is they all came at times when they're still in the game, and they all came on first down. All 4 of their turnovers came on first down. In other words, the play where you can afford to not try and do anything nuts. The problem with the throw to McCaffrey wasn't okay, where do we assign the blame? It's do you need to try that on first down? How about tuck it and go get 4? Because that's what this game was going to be. And it played out that way. Instead of trying to make a crazy play on first down, tuck it and get 4, don't have a turnover, you're going to beat the Jaguars at home. And the Niners, they did not follow that recipe. They did not follow that recipe. And it could have been better, but it could have been worse. McCaffrey fumbled. Now, he was actually fundamentally holding the ball, and then got a helmet to the arm, and the arm came off the ball, and then the ball got punched. So Christian, I got a hard time. This guy's working his ass off. 17 carries, 49 yards running the ball. Not great, but 6 catches for 92 and a touchdown. And the touchdown was awesome, that little flip. The 2 touchdown passes today was an inside flip, awesome play. One of my buddies, who's an assistant college football coach, sent me the video. That play, I guess, went viral in the play calling world, the Play Callers Club, Dan Casey, on the internet. If you're into football plays and you're not following Dan Casey, but that was one, and then the screen to Tonjes. That was a great effort by him. So anyway, that's the fundamental. I know nothing's going to be easy, but even again, fundamental football, not turning it over, covering kicks, that'll win them a fair amount of games, even without Nick Bosa. I don't know if not a lot of games, but maybe enough games without Nick Bosa. I think that's kind of where I'm at, because I think the defensive coordinator is good. I think there's enough talent on defense and still enough talent on offense that if you play the kind of games that gritty teams need to play, which is low mistake football, then you'll win. Now, sometimes you make mistakes because you're forcing an issue, all gas, no break. But that's not what this game needed to be for them. It didn't need to be this way. Take it for 4 first down turnovers. Is a first down turnover worse than a third down turnover? Actually, yes. So just messy. All right. Producer Connor, who frequently pops on here. Also, you can check out his Substack, substack.com/@JoCo Show, where his Big Niners recap, I'm sure, is coming out probably Monday.
Yeah.
So he's grinding right now. The life of a writer. And all right, there's some. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff I haven't hit. You know, it's weird when you're calling the game. Like I'm not taking notes. I was filling in for. Most people know this if you're watching or listening to this, but filling in for Greg Pop again today, and we'll do so again Thursday. So you're like, I'm taking notes in a different way. Like I'm taping cards up. So I don't. But anyway, I don't know why I said all that. But what you got? Give me some thought. That's what you were watching. You were home watching on TV.
Yep. I mean,
what stood out?
The good, bad, and ugly will come out tomorrow, but a lot of bad, a lot of ugly. I mean, to your point about the fundamentals, how about the drops? 6 drops, maybe 7 drops. I don't remember if that was including the Kendrick Bourne drop at the very end. Kendrick Bourne, back-to-back huge drops.
Do you have Kendrick Bourne with 3 drops?
I definitely with 2. I
yeah.
feel they felt
the first. How about the first one was like really close and Purdy like fired it at him from like point blank? Did you? I don't know, but
there was back-to-back plays because McCaffrey also had one, and it was I guess thrown a little hard, but he doesn't drop those usually. I mean, it was like a 10-yard
thrown a little hard, like that's
for Brock, it's not that bad. I mean, this team, like you said, the Jags played fundamental. That's how the Niners need to be playing without Bosa. You need to play stout and sound and just keep it simple. Remember in the offseason, Brock Purdy talked about you can't force it. I was just trying to force it. All 2024, I was forcing it. Didn't have the guys there. He's doing it again. Brock Purdy's forcing the ball. In the second interception, that might have been intercepted. If it doesn't get tipped, maybe. I don't know. It's late.
I mean, I thought the replay I saw, like, that's still a bad throw, bad decision. But, there's also the little thought in my head he makes a lot of those layered throws. But that one felt particularly tough.
Into traffic. And then on top of that, maybe the toe. I want your thought on this. Did he look fully healthy? Because a lot of the balls were sailing. It felt more like Jimmy Garoppolo back there when he seemed a little panic. They were missing high a lot. And your
theory is he's not stepping into the throw because of his foot. And I don't know. I mean, he wasn't on the injury report at all, which, whatever. But I mean, even Christian was on it with a calf for a few weeks after he was fine. He certainly felt off, like 100%. Could be rust, could be their defense, their defensive front. It felt to me, it could have been it felt to me like he was throwing the ball late in the first half, or just wasn't really seeing it. And then I thought in the second half there were a lot of throws. I mean, I haven't gone back to watch it yet, so a lot's probably strong, but it felt like there were several throws from the pocket where there were just obstructions, and it felt like he just wasn't seeing it, which is odd for him because he can really see it in terms of just things developing. He said after the game that, chemistry can be a little like we're pros, like we got there practice, we play. I felt today like you could really feel I'm glad thank God they got Kendrick Bourne. They he helps them win another game, and he made a big catch late on a gorgeous throw it was a really good throw from Brock.
That was a great throw.
But I did feel today, and I said it on the air to Tim, I said, I hate to say this, but today, when you're not playing great football, so you need like extraordinary plays, I really feel Kittle's absence, and I really feel Ayuk's absence on offense, and then Pearsall's absence.
Right.
Like Ricky Pearsall, it's not overstating it to say, through 3 weeks of the NFL season, and he made a couple great catches today. He's been one of the best receivers in the NFL, period. Eye test, stats, winning, measuring his impact on winning. So, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL right now. That's what he's been. And then today he made the catch he made down the sideline was ridiculous.
The one hand, yeah. And even the one that he made when he got hurt. I mean, he caught it. He was out of bounds, but he caught it. It was a toe tap. It was incredible. He's been offensive MVP pretty much, and can't afford to lose him.
No.
Cast of characters is
short week.
All right. If Brock Purdy decides not to play and Mac Jones plays,
not to play,
or let's say, he can't play this week, and Mac Jones plays. No, against the Jags. Do the Niners win with Mac Jones?
Mac Jones revenge game.
Would the Niners have won? I mean, revisionist history. I know, going back.
I don't know. I'm not ready to do the are we sure Brock? Like, we got a track record here with Brock. I think he's better than this, but they need him to be at ASAP.
The point I'm making is
But I like Mac.
If he felt rushed back because Mac was winning or anything like that,
I see what you're saying.
And he looked sloppy. Maybe the toe was bad. Maybe that's the reason he was missing high and just lacking today. But ifs and ands. But the 49ers are running the ball 3.5 yards per rush. They can't get it going. What's going on with the run blocking? Shanahan's bread and butter. It's the same cast of it's the same crew up front.
Does it feel like Brian Robinson's kind of like Brian Robinson was now Christian was, he ran it 3 times as many, but it felt like Brian Robinson was closer to breaking one than Christian.
Yeah.
Now, Christian only had, quote unquote, 23 touches today. Actually, that's right on his pace, I think. 23 touches today, 11 targets. By the way, 6 catches, 11 targets for Christian that's a low percentage.
Yeah.
Usually it's like if he's got 6 catches, it's on like 9 targets, not 11. I don't know. Now, Kyle has talked a lot about the defenses they're seeing. If you're a defense, you would absolutely watch this game and keep it up. Do with the Jags. You're going to keep that up, like play the run. Jacksonville also did feel like they kind of knew what was coming. It's like, Saul has a point.
Yeah.
Now, his point is not that it's not allowed. The point is just like, yeah, they're good at it. It felt like a lot of times Niners brought pressure. They picked it up. And a lot of times they had some DOA run plays that just had no chance. They're like designed to be Christian in space. And it's like Christian with 4 guys around him. It's not space.
Where is Connor Stallion spent time in Jacksonville recently?
Unconfirmed. Unconfirmed. How about Eric Armstead making the play to end the game too?
Oh man,
that man's got a big old arm. I thought they were gonna when the field goal missed. I was like, they're gonna win a 3rd game that I thought they're gonna lose. Like I was in the booth in Seattle. I'll admit it. I was like, I don't know. And in the booth last week, like, hope is lost. And they won, and that's part of, it's awesome. Like you get credit for it. You don't get discredit for winning close games, but
you play enough of the games like this, at some point you're losing. Reversion to the mean with how sloppy they played in the first, 4 weeks on offense. So Brock Purdy has to step up. That's not a very, very obvious take. It
needs to be. It's a good. It's also a good take. It's an obvious take and a good take.
Okay. The other question, my thought is, McCaffrey had 6 receptions. How many times? Like, how much can he actually be the lead receiver and lead running back? Because 2.9 yards per rush. McCaffrey, again, is just. He's used so much, which I know, Shanahan's going to use him because he loves him,
and they need to.
Like Juwan Jennings, you would like to see maybe more receptions and targets from him, and he's a little bit banged up.
It didn't feel like he was. The catch he made, the 2-point catch he made, and he had a first down catch, that 50-yard first down catch. That were the 2-point guy. He was tough. Like I do think they do have a group of. I think there's a lot of tough guys, but these guys are. Oh, that was really tough. Physically tough. I wonder, I'll be interested to see when the PFF snap count comes out. Like, was Demarcus Robinson? It felt like maybe they were going to limit him a little bit just to ease him in, but it felt like he was out there the normal amount. Like when we checked the snap count, you'd love to get him involved. He had 1 catch for 20 yards.
Big catch.
It was a big catch. To answer your question, I wouldn't change the recipe. I'd love for McCaffrey to be 4 yards a carry instead of 2.9. But if it's 2.9, I'm not going to also stop throwing him the ball.
This game overall, like the momentum was never stuck with the 49ers throughout the entire game. As soon as the 49ers had a positive play, they fumbled. And then after the fumble, the Jags just ran for a touchdown. The Niners get a touchdown, long kick return. It's just like it was
the touchdown, dude. The kickoff return for a touchdoan, or the punt return for a touchdown.
Special teams.
Like how is that possible? Thank God for Eddie Pinheiro.
And then the Niners grind out a field goal. They can't convert in the red zone right before the half. The minute 48 left on the clock. There's a return to the 50, and then there's a face mask the next play. And now the Jags are maybe like now holding to a field goal. It's like that 3 points got erased immediately.
It went from it holding them to a field goal when they had no business being down there was a win.
I think the main credit is the defense kept the 49ers in this game incredibly well. And then the special teams would let them down immediately. Brock would let them down immediately. And you just can't recover from, 3 extra possessions to the Jags team who played. Yeah, I guess they just were, like you said, buttoned up. But yeah,
some had to.
Frustrating.
No, you didn't pick off Trevor Lawrence. He's thrown a pick in 6 straight games. NFL. The Niners and Jags ran the same number of plays, which means I can tell you how many yards per play the Niners were. No, that's not right. 389 divided by 63, 6.17 yards per play. 325 divided by 63, 5 point. What did I say? 6 point. The Niners were a yard more per play, but they couldn't run it. It's another reminder too. Like so often, I don't know what the percentage is. We've talked about this before. Like throwing for over 300 yards sounds great on paper. It's not necessarily the Niners' recipe for winning football games.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. What do you think of the Upton Stout defensive pass interference? Because there was the interception. Really great play by Upton Stout. And just overall, he's a player. He is a stud.
Yeah. I felt like I went, and I hate doing like on the podcast, like here's something else I said on radio. But this is actually worth your opinion on. I knew I was going a little overboard probably, but he made another play. And I said this. I said, I'm not calling him a honey badger. I'm just saying when I watch him play, there's just a certain fight to him that's like kind of honey badgery, And I stand by that. Now it's like you're not going to call him Tyrann Mathieu quite yet.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I love the guy.
He was he was pointing in the face after a stop, and then he kept pointing and pointing. Yeah, he has that cornerback mentality, which is great, and he fits right in. Defensive line, no QB hits. I feel like minimal pressures. Don't know the exact numbers there. I mean, Bosa. You also missed Bosa on the run game as well. That was evident. I mean, I think this. If the Niners win this game, they have to go get Hendrickson. But they still have to go get Hendrickson, right? Because they win, they're going to the playoffs.
It's like, yeah, you got a whole season ahead. I'm not into giving up on seasons in September and going like, I don't know, 3rd round pick. That could turn into whoever. But also, Trey Hendrickson doesn't solve all these problems. Like he doesn't play offense.
Yeah. Understood that. Yeah, for sure.
Upton Stout. I didn't think it was bad. Now I've only seen it twice, like on the video board, so I haven't really watched it. But it looked to me like his hand was on the back for a brief second as he came around him, but I didn't think he pulled on him at all. So I didn't like the call.
Yeah, it looked like Hunter like turned his hips right as the hand was right around the back, and then
I see. So that's how it looked like he turned him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think they saw from their angle.
Yeah, I am into trading for Trey Hendrickson. I also don't think there will be 0 hits and hurries and sacks. I don't think that's going to be the typical. Just because I think, but again this week, like the Rams run the ball, get the ball out quick, but Stafford will do the drop back, and you see there. I knew. When they went down to the Colts that they were winning that game. I knew I was going to click on that scoreboard like 30 minutes later and see that they won. And not only they win, but they hit like an 82-yard bomb or whatever it was to Tutu Atwell.
You probably didn't see what happened, but in the third quarter.
I saw what happened.
The Colts, do you see the Colts? I think
Adonai Mitchell
from Georgia.
Texas.
Celebrating. Texas, that's right.
Right? No,
I think it's Texas, yeah. Celebrating. That rule is very, very dumb. It's
totally. I love the rule.
Oh, you do? Advantage to the defense?
I love the reason I love for people who don't know what we're talking about, you probably do. But he's going in, celebrating, and the ball like slips, right? or he didn't drop it too early. It just slipped as he was like high stepping or whatever.
Yep.
Just before he crossed the goal line, bounces out of the end zone, touchback, defense gets the ball. Like that play deserves to be punished. That play deserves an over the top punishment.
Not against the Rams or Seahawks. So
okay. Josh Dubois, the Associated Press, tweeted Brock Purdy becomes the first 49ers QB with 3 straight games with multiple interceptions since JT O'Sullivan in 2008.
Not great.
That's not his recipe, man. Like that is not his recipe. And I know it's like, well, they're not as good anymore, so he's got to do more. Is that what today was about? Doing more? Like, did you come away from that game going like, I actually need to do more than he needed to be better, but he didn't need to create more. He just needed to do the stuff that was there to be done.
Yeah.
How about Shanahan's hook and ladder play?
Yeah. So the
second quarter.
Shanahan creativity, that was a great play. You've kind of seen it around the NFL here and there, but phenomenal hook and ladder play. And then the shovel pass.
Tim said somebody ran that, like the Lions have run that in the first half before.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that.
But
the shovel pass too inside the red zone. Some red zone creativity was needed to McCaffrey. It was a fake run and then shovel to the same guy. Great play.
They also had a throw. We rolled left, then turned, then stopped, turned, and then rolled back right to create an angle and throw it kind of down the seam. That was a cool play. But anyway, the point is like there's this bigger Brock discussion, which is they're not the Avengers, so he's got to create more for them. And I just say, today's the example. It was not about him not creating enough. That wasn't the problem. It wasn't about him, even though I did say, and I do believe, like you felt the Kittle absence, you felt the Ayuk absence because of the mistakes. But if he's going to hit guys in the hands, they're going to drop it, and that's the worst that happens. So be it. That's what happens. But that's not the worst that happened today. Now, Luke Farrell. Now, part of it is like you're throwing to Luke Farrell, he's fighting for yards. He's got like 40 career catches, and he fumbles the ball. I mean, how often how many first down catches did Luke Farrell have in his career? Right, that was him fighting for a first down. He got the first down, and it does. It feels like a cliche thing to say, but it happens a lot. You're fighting for it. Luke Farrell has 17 for okay, that's more than I thought. But
yeah,
he's like 3 to 5 first downs a year. Not a lot.
Yeah, it was a good mix of everything. Purdy was bad, but the receivers were also equally very bad. Not equally, they were also very bad with those drops. Like the Kendrick Bourne 3rd and 15. Pretty open on the post.
WAO. Why?
Yeah, WAO. And then the third, like those, that's butterfly effect with all of this, right? With sports, but just sloppy game on offense and special teams. Also, one more thing on special teams, there was a Chase Lucas with the roughing in the fourth quarter, roughing another 15 yards with the new kickoff rules.
And I know it's true. Like I learned it as an 8-year-old watching NFL films because they did a feature on it once. They always catch the second guy, and then they show a bunch of second guys getting penalized, and then they show interviews with the second guy. He's like, I didn't do it. I was just the second guy. They always catch the second guy, and he was the second because but he went open hand to the face, like he just in front of their bench.
So mm-hmm.
And they lost Trayvon Walker in the game. It's not like everything went great for them. They lost their left tackle or their right tackle to injury. They were getting hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why they lead the NFL in turnovers forced. They were punching at the ball. They're always around the ball when it's tipped. And whenever, Fred Warner can't come up with a couple picks, hard plays, great plays, but it's just, slipping out of his hands, and they're falling right into the Jags' hands on
any other questions before we go?
True or false? Did you rip a smelling salt in the broadcast booth
pregame? True.
You fired up?
dude. I was like, I mean, it was. Whew, could use one right now. I need to pack a couple for the pack a couple for LA. Yep.
So you'll be you're a advocate.
I wouldn't go that far. No, I came away from it going, I don't think I needed that. And I don't like the way it feels.
Pretty amped for that kickoff call.
I mean, no, I actually had the opposite. I'm like, I don't think it helped. Like, I don't think I'm a little foggy all of a sudden. It was a reverse. It was a reverse smeller. So anyway, all right. So your article's going up on Substack, Joco Show, at Joco Show, JOCO.
At Joco Show. 49ers better fix it.
Doesn't it feel? Answer my question before we go.
At Bucks. Yeah.
So I said when it came on, like, maybe every loss just feels terrible in the NFL. You know, like it's just, you lose, and it's just, imagine being the Seahawks week 1 or the Cardinals week 2 or week 3 or the Saints week 2. Like they just all feel so bad. Because I was listening to McCaffrey, his post game as I was driving home. He's like, yeah, he goes, I've never been an undefeated team. Only the 72 Dolphins have been an undefeated team. Nobody in that locker room has been on an undefeated team. We all know how to handle losing. We lost. We have to move forward. And it was great perspective, and it's what a leader should say and how he acts and all that stuff. And for a minute, I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm turning the page. And I think the reason it feels that way is because it just feels like you're without Bosa, you're only getting so many shots. And like I said to start the show, 4 out of the next 5 on the road, you know, and maybe it's the turnovers, or maybe because Brock didn't play well. I don't know, but I was battling, thinking, you know, just driving home, like, did that feel extra? Is that extra terrible, or did it just feel that way?
I think because Brock had the bad interceptions and all of the drops, because of how sloppy it was, compounded with the Bosa news on Monday. I think you escape with a win, and you know, winning cures all. So I think everything's just like, oh, you're just reminded there's no Bosa, clearly no pass rush, and then Brock looked bad. So I think it felt very, very bad, because the other ones with Mac Jones, you're like, we can lose or whatever. Mac Jones won the first game in New Orleans. He has one to lose. Oh, he won the game against Arizona, house money. And so this one, you have Brock back, the Bosa news, the team looked groggy, slow, and
red zone stuff hasn't been fixed. You know, Christian returning hasn't just automatically fixed the red zone touchdown issue.
Right. Yep. No run game. So I think the Bosa news compounded with Brock playing poorly makes it feel worse. And the defense gave him another opportunity to potentially win the game. And Niner fans are used to winning those games this year, surprisingly.
All right. On that note, quick turnaround. Thursday. I'm not exactly sure what the podcast schedule is going to be this week. We'll see. But can't wait to go to SoFi Stadium. Have not been there before. I think that's it for this. All right. Go put the finishing touches on the article. Go read Connor's article tomorrow. And I'll talk to you all soon. Later.